What's up? It's your boy, I Know Mercy, the Mad Hatter, here again with another comic book review. And I know I said I was going to try and get these out at least once a week, but obviously that didn't happen, so whatever. Got a fan on because it's hot as balls in here, so I hope that isn't too loud, but well, regardless, here again, talking about a new comic. Well, not new, it's actually pretty fucking old. So I'm actually doing something else, another more scripted video that I have planned for either next month or later this month, probably next month with how slow I work, but it's gonna have to do with Wonder Woman, and actually needed to read a specific storyline of hers in order to get the full idea of what I actually want to do with it. So I figured, you know what, fuck it, might as well make a video about that. And so here we are. I'm going to talk about a comic that I've heard a lot about, I've been meaning to read, but just never really got around to it. Wonder Woman: The Circle. The first storyline in Gail Simone's run for Wonder Woman. Gail Simone's run is actually considered one of the more well-known and well-received Wonder Woman runs in her long history, and I have actually read a little bit ahead, actually quite a bit ahead in this particular run, but I didn't actually. I just picked up a random comic and started reading, and just like, holy shit, this is really good, and I just kept reading. So I am doing something with this. I needed to read this. I am doing something with Gail Simone's run. I needed to read this, and I figured, fuck it, I might as well talk to you guys about it. So, yeah, here we go. Wonder Woman: The Circle. Okay, so I think it has to be some kind of rule that every superhero, at least once, has to fight both Nazis and hyper-intelligent guerrilla knights. That's a rule now. Okay, so a little background about what's going on right now. Wonder Woman's not exactly in the best place, particularly because two of the worst comics ever written came before this. Countdown to Final Crisis and Amazon's Attack, which is kind of a tie-in to Countdown, but not really. It's just, it was a nightmare. Like, Amazon's Attack was a complete fucking train wreck. It was. I can't say it's the worst Wonder Woman story ever written, but it probably was. So basically, the Amazons attacked the United States. Hippolyta, who had died in the previous story, was resurrected by Circe. Then she leads the Amazons on the attack against the United States. Circe gets killed, but then she doesn't. But then the Amazons stop fighting because of some reason. Then Athena shows up and erases all the Amazons' memories and places them in the bodies in the lives of normal mortal women, and then sends Hippolyta off to Themyscira to live by herself. And then Athena kills Circe, I think, or sends her away or something, and then it revealed that Athena was actually Granny Goodness, who had taken over the Greek pantheon for whatever reason. I don't fucking care. It was a dumpster fire of a story, and I do not recommend reading it. Okay, so we've gotten that bullshit out of the way. The story begins with Hippolyta on Themyscira checking out 4 prison cells on 4 different parts of the island, asking one question: do you repent? The prisoners in all 4 cells say never. In the last cell, the prisoner actually gives Hippolyta a wooden crown that she apparently carved with her teeth. Because, okay. Apparently what they did was try and kill Diana when she was a baby. The prisoner she's actually talking about, named I don't remember how to spell her name, but this is what it is. So prisoners say that they're never gonna repent, they're never gonna feel sorry for what they did. She calls Diana a dragon for whatever reason, and then Hippolyta leaves. And then then she breaks the wooden crown, and Hippolyta leaves. And then she goes nuts and says that she's gonna try and kill Diana again. But she's in prison, so fuck it, who cares? Then we go over to Diana, who is currently fighting Gorilla Knights serving Gorilla Grodd. Because comic books. So apparently, Grodd somehow got back into Gorilla City. I don't know fucking how, and recruited like what 7-10 gorillas, like genetically enhanced them more than they already apparently are, because again, hyper intelligent gorillas. Outfitted them with high tech battle armor, enough supposedly to fight Superman, and then sent them after Wonder Woman as a test run. But I mean, it's Wonder Woman, so obviously she wins. But again, she doesn't like just beat them up. I mean, obviously she beats them up because they're fucking hyper strong, hyper intelligent gorillas in power armor. But she actually ends the fight by just talking to them, which is good. That's how Wonder Woman should ideally end all of her fights. It's not always gonna work because some people you just can't talk to, but like she's actually making a mental notes in the narration that they're just confused and disenfranchised and everything like that. Like it happens all the time. Like it's just human and apparently gorilla nature to be young and stupid and be easily misled by a charismatic leader. And yeah, Grodd is charismatic. I mean, he is a giant gorilla, but he's a very well-read, well-respected giant talking gorilla with telepathic powers because comic books. So they stop fighting, and Diana actually invites the entire group to live with her in her apartment because after Infinite Crisis, actually, for whatever reason, Diana gets it into her head that she needs to reconnect with humanity in some way. Like she needs to get her own secret identity, live a normal life, which is okay, fine, whatever. Like you can make that work. But the thing she decides to do to reconnect with with humanity and shit like that is to work for the Men in Black or to work for Shield. I mean, this is just called the Department of Metahuman Affairs or something like that, but it's fucking Shield. It's basically fucking Shield, and I don't know why this was like. Show me the logic of this. I kind of get that she wants to still do hero work, but I feel he could have done a lot of things to reconnect with humanity and still act as a superhero without becoming a secret fucking agent. Like it seems like that would be the exact opposite of things. Because then you have to like fucking keep secrets from people, so you would actually have to withdraw from them more. But whatever, it's whatever. It happened years ago, and Gail Simone just had to work around it. It's still a stupid idea, but fuck it. So yeah, she invites all the gorillas to live at her apartment. She has a partner named Tom Tresser, which is Nemesis. I have not seen him in anything other than this book, but apparently I think he worked for Suicide Squad at some point. I don't know. Anyway, it's apparently Diana's birthday, and she actually does. He actually does bring into the whole "I did this so I can learn more about humanity" thing, and she does mention that in an occasion like a birthday, had she still been on Themyscira, all of her sisters would have been hugging her and kissing her and stuff like that. But it's not exactly welcomed in a professional situation like this, and she thinks it's weird, and if you think about it, it kind of is. I mean that we would consider like showing physical affection like that to be a liability, like something you can actually get sued for, and yeah, that's fucked up. Um, but then the director of the DMA, Sarge Steele, he shows up and tells her about. He talks to her about a briefing he had about the Gorilla Knights and how one of them actually told her that Gorilla Grodd is actually trying to restart the secret society, a long-standing villain tradition in the DC universe, and that if someone like Grodd gets hold of it, bad shit's gonna go down. Steele tells Diana and Nemesis to go out and check the last known location of the society and make sure that nothing bad is going down. Of course it is. But before that happens, you actually see, I hadn't been keeping up too much with post Infinite Crisis Wonder Woman, because first of all, I hadn't actually been reading comics at the time, but I haven't gone back and read back issues of it to see what was going on. Like I said, I read Amazon's Attack and I hated every single fucking moment of it. But as far as I know, Etta Candy had not been in the comics for a good long while, and this is Gail Simone reintroducing her, and this is post-crisis Etta Candy, where she's actually working for the military. So, and she's actually Sarge Steele is actually concerned because she thinks that Diana has some connection with the Amazons, because they attacked the United States, and which, she's right. He's right, because she's Wonder Woman. But, Etta says, she's gonna do some digging and find out what the fuck's going on. I don't know if Etta knows that Diana is Diana Prince, the secret agent. I don't think she does, just based on this one scene, but I think it'd be hilarious if she did, and she's just fucking with Steele. But Diana and Tressa, they go after the society location, and they find a villain named Captain Nazi, because there's Nazis now in this comic, and that's always good. And there's a little bit of a fight, and she mentions that as Diana Prince, she doesn't have the full access to her Wonder Woman powers, which is another thing that happened post Infinite Crisis with Cersei. It was dumb. And then you find out an entire battalion of Nazis is heading towards Themyscira, and that's how the comic ends. And it's like, oh, shit! And I'm sure, the Amazons could have handled, a battalion of Nazis, no problem. They're badasses. And Hippolyta is obviously the queen badass, but she's just one woman. So, fuck. And also you got the 4 prisoners there who are still on the island, and yeah, shit's not good. So this was actually a really good story, and I really enjoyed it. One thing I really liked is that Terry Dodson, Terry and Rachel Dodson were actually worked on the art for this, and to this day they are my favorite Wonder Woman artists. I really like the way they draw Wonder Woman and all the different characters and stuff like that. And yeah, this is really good. So I wasn't sure if that whole Etta Candy thing was gonna come back in this issue. Apparently fucking not. Alright, so this actually starts out with kind of an expansion to how the first issue started out with, further explaining the history of the Circle. These 4 women that Hippolyta was visiting, at the beginning of the last issue. Apparently, they were her personal bodyguards, and they took their job way too fucking seriously. Um, like even Philippus, who was a long time Wonder Woman supporting character, the general of the Amazon's standing army. Fun fact: before she got taken off of the book, Gail Simone actually wanted Hippolyta and Philippus to get married, and so like, that would have been interesting. But then they heard, but then they heard rumors that Hippolyta actually wanted a daughter, and apparently that isn't like unusual with the Amazons, like basically being immortal and not being able to have children. A lot of the Amazons actually sort of have surrogate children. You know how in the original comic, Hippolyta actually made a clay statue before it was brought to life to just kind of, I guess, look at and pretend she had a daughter. Apparently, that's the thing that a lot of Amazons did throughout the years, and they actually hear of a woman who made a doll and was singing a lullaby to it and just pretending that it was an actual baby. They destroyed the doll, banned anyone else from making a doll like it, and then killed the Amazon who did it. So now you know why they're in prison. Makes sense. Aside from the whole trying to kill Diana while she was a baby thing. But that's why they're locked up. We go back to the present. Diana's still fighting Captain Nazi. She does manage to get the upper hand by throwing him into another room, getting some of the plastic explosive that Nemesis had, throwing it in Captain Nazi's face and blowing it up. While that happens, she transforms into Wonder Woman, and it's actually a really cool image of just her tiara and her bracelets against the black background while she's talking. It's an awesome image. And then it actually shows what's really cool about Wonder Woman's powers. The whole lasso of truth thing. It doesn't just force you to tell the truth. It actually forces you to. It brings everything about the truth. Anything you're denying, if you're lying to yourself, if you're trying to hide something, it brings all of that shit forward and actually forces Captain Nazi to relive the thing that kind of set him on the path to becoming what he is. Because his dad was a pimp and he pimped out his mom and then he killed her and then he beat him and his brother throughout their entire childhoods. It's like, yeah, no wonder this dude became a fucking supervillain. And he is crying, like he is straight up crying, and he does tell Wonder Woman, the full plan about the Nazis invading Themyscira and everything like that. And meanwhile, in Themyscira, apparently I was fucking wrong, because Hippolyta is kicking these dudes' asses. I mean, she's sneak attacking them, she's beating the shit out of them. It's fucking awesome. She releases the fucking, I'm gonna call it a Kraken because I don't actually know what the fuck it is, but she releases a fucking Kraken in the stalls, and apparently they have unicorns and dragons in the Amazon's bazaar, it was a stable. So they have dragons and unicorns in their stable. That's fucking awesome, and it's not at all surprising, honestly. But it's still really cool. And then and the Nazis actually find, I still can't pronounce this woman's name. Alcyone? I think that's it. Fuck it, I don't care. They actually find her cell, and she says that you're never gonna beat her. She's gonna kick all your asses, and then you're gonna die, and then we're gonna burn you then she's gonna burn you because that's how we do things. That's how we treat our dead enemies. And you guys are Christian, right? So that's not good for you. And I actually think there is something in Christianity about it's okay to get cremated or like being buried with a marker. It actually is important in Christian in some Christian rights, and like these are Nazis, so obviously they're fucking Christian. But she says, "I can help you. Just let me go, and I'll help you kill the queen." And it's like, what? But okay, like who cares? Like, no, okay, this is cool. But Diana can't get to Themyscira because, like I said, Athena, who was actually Granny Goodness, barred her from ever coming back. And I don't know if she actually knows it wasn't actually Athena, but it was Granny. Who cares? She can't get back, so she actually goes to different pantheons of gods. Like she goes to Asgard and talks to Odin. She goes to Japan and talks to Raijin. Why she doesn't talk to Amaterasu, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure she's the head goddess there. Fuck it, who cares? Then I guess she talks to Bast once she visits the Egyptians. So, I don't fucking know. She actually does eventually meet up with... She even talks to the wizard Shazam, which is surprising. And what's not surprising is that he can't actually help her. But then she goes to another god. I do not recognize him. I don't even remember what his name is. But he's I think he's a Polynesian god. Like, he looks Polynesian, and his island is a tropical island. But she actually declares fealty to him as her patron god if he can get her to Themyscira, which, like, I get this. Like the Olympians are assholes, and they've been fucking with her for years, and I think they're actually just like gone from this plane of existence for whatever. I think they're actually just gone from this plane of existence. Like Granny Goodness and the other gods of apocalypse like kidnapped them or something like that. I don't know. Like they're not here. They're not on Earth or anything like that. So yeah. So he agrees to it and actually gives her the way of getting to Themyscira, and that's where the comic ends. But she actually says that she has to go back home for something, and I'm going to assume that she's going to get the fucking hyper-intelligent Gorilla Knights to help her, because they actually did offer to help her for no reason. Like they're really cool with Diana, and they actually do want to help her out with this. So yeah, like, why not bring them along? You know, they're fucking super strong, they're hyper intelligent, they've got power armor and shit. So yeah, Wonder Woman is going to be fighting Nazis with an army of Gorilla Knights. This is what comics should always be about. So Wonder Woman and Hippolyta basically spend this entire issue kicking everyone's ass. Why did it take so long for this character to get a movie? Alright, so we get a little bit more of the backstory of the Circle. So after killing that Amazon, which I don't know how they managed to hide, but apparently they never got any they never apparently faced any repercussions for it. Hippolyta is about to go off and do the whole praying to the gods, sculpt Diana out of clay, use her blood to bring her to life thing. And she does it, and everyone comes back, and all the Amazons are fucking elated. Like, they're completely on board with this. They finally have a little baby that they can all take care of and everything like that. And everyone is 100% on board with this and happy for Hippolyta and everything like that. Except for these four bitches. And they basically, like I said, they plan to kill her. So there it is. Like, good 5 issues, just basically, well, it's not retreading, it's, you see their process, you see their thought process, and why they come to this conclusion and stuff like that, and Alcyone, still not sure if I'm saying her name right, she actually admits that the main reason why she doesn't want Diana to be a thing is because she thinks that all the other Amazons will get jealous of the fact that Hippolyta has a daughter, because all of them want a daughter, and that's true, they all do want a daughter, but they're just kind of cool with all of them just kind of collectively taking care of Diana while she's growing up. But she's not cool with it because she thinks that they'll be jealous of Hippolyta and then they'll start to try and kill her and shit like that, and it's bullshit. That's all it really is. And this is, you kind of get the idea of you kind of get the main theme of this particular story. It's that it's misguided actions leading to terrible choices. You know, because with the Gorilla Knights in the first issue, they were manipulated by Grodd. You know, because there are people who do poach gorillas, and that was sort of the incentive Grodd used on these guys to get them to follow him, you know, get back at the humans, kill them before they kill you, that sort of thing. Ignoring the fact that poaching is, you know, illegal, and there's actually a good number of programs in the world completely dedicated to specifically protecting gorillas, but whatever. And then you got the Nazis, and, you know, Nazis. Racial superiority is bullshit. Everyone knows that, but you can still trick people into believing crap like that. And then you got these four skanks thinking that not having any kids on the island is best for everyone because, you know, if some of them have kids, then I don't know, fuck it. Akione's just nuts. I mean, I know it's not right to just say, oh, she's just nuts, but she's just nuts. I mean, I kind of get the logic behind what she's saying, and it does make a certain amount of sense, but she's taking it too fucking far. But in the modern day, like I said, Hippolyta and Diana are basically just kicking ass throughout this entire issue. So, Hippolyta doesn't kill, but knocks out and subdues pretty much every group of Nazis that she comes across. And then Diana comes in on the seashell that the god that she got to help her out last issue gave her. And of course she has the fucking Gorilla Knights with her. And it's actually kind of funny, because while she's riding towards the island, it's the sun is starting to rise, and she kind of uses the fact that the sun is in the Nazi's eyes, but she also admits that she's doing this with a sense of, you know, theatricality to it, which is fun. And then, huge fight between Wonder Woman, Gorilla Knights, and Nazis. Because, again, this is what comics should always be about. Gorilla Knights fighting Nazis. This is fucking awesome. They're actually doing pretty well, but they are completely outnumbered, and they all have the same amount of strength that Captain Nazi did, and he can go toe to toe with Wonder Woman. So, they could win, but it'd be really hard. And Wonder Woman actually does see an eagle flying by, and she's actually reminded of a poem by Kipling. And it gives you the idea of making the Nazis follow them into the jungles, so they can just pick them off one by one because they're fucking gorillas. But while that's happening, the head Nazi, I don't think they ever actually gave him a name, and if they did, I don't fucking remember it. One thing I didn't notice is that while they were invading the Themyscira, and, you know, they had the circle in prisoners with them, they were started destroying Amazon architecture and stuff. There's this really gorgeous statue, and dude just fucking smashes it. And this woman, this female soldier, she actually finds one of the Amazon libraries, and she's just fucking enamored with all the research and the books and the art and everything like that, and dude just says, burn it, just fucking burn it. And she's asking him, no, we don't need to, you know, we just all this cool stuff here, just fucking burn it, we don't need this shit. And it's I honestly, I kind of get why she didn't do it, but part of me kind of wanted this to be Paula von Gunther, you know, the one of Wonder Woman's earliest villains. Wait, was Paula von Gunther already on? Like, I know in the continuity of Wonder Woman, she actually defects from the Nazis and lives on Paradise Island and becomes an honorary Amazon and shit like that. I don't know if that's actually happened in this continuity or not. So that might not actually make sense, but I don't know. I just thought that would be a cool. I think her name is Tabitha, the Nazi soldier in this story. I just think it'd be kind of a cool little Easter egg if name was Paula, but whatever. All right, so fuck, what was I? Right, okay. So one of the Nazis actually tells the head dude that a squad of Nazis actually managed to shoot Hippolyta down while she was riding on a fucking Pegasus. Because of course she was riding on a fucking Pegasus because she's awesome. And Wonder Woman hears about this, and of course the Circle is there when he gets that information, so they kill everyone. Like, just break neck, stab, kill, strangle, everything like that. Everyone there is dead. And Wonder Woman actually manages to track down two of the Nazis, knocks one out, and that's kind of funny because one of them is actually saying that he'd want Wonder Woman to find him, so they could do some fucking bondage bullshit. Because of course you'd say that fucking shit about, like, god damn it, why would you say that? Like, just on the off chance that she could hear you, she could snap you the fucking half, dude. I don't care how enhanced you are. But like Wonder Woman roughs him up a little bit and tells her where Hippolyta was last seen. And she goes to there, and the Circle are pissed because Diana should have protected Hippolyta even though she wasn't on the fucking island, and she was specifically banned from ever coming back to the fucking island, and she had absolutely no control over the situation. But no, it was entirely her fault that Hippolyta got fucking shot. So Hippolyta's dying because, as awesome as she is, guns still hurt. And that's how the issue ends. Diana cradling Hippolyta's slowly dying body. Like, I'm sure she's gonna be fine. Like, I know she's gonna be fine because I've read ahead and I know she survives this. But still, like, you know she's gonna be fine. They killed her once, and I gotta kill her again. So the whole backstory of how the Circle actually got in prison finally does end here. We see them going into Hippolyta's private chambers. Philippus tries to stop them, but one of them shoots her with 2 arrows and seemingly kills her. But obviously she's fine. They actually have a knife ready to stab Diana. But then they actually, see her close up, and they kind of have the same feeling that all the other Amazons had when they first saw Diana. And for, a split second, they think not to do it, but then Alcyone, being completely out of her fucking mind, she's ready to go right back at it. But then, the same eagle, I genuinely believe it is the same eagle that Diana saw in the last issue that gave her the idea to hide in the forest, to hide in the jungle, flies into Hippolyta's chamber and wakes her up, and then she kicks their ass. And then Philippus and a bunch of other Amazons come in, and obviously they kick their ass and throw them in the 4 prisons we saw at the beginning of the story. And that's how that happened. And then in present day, a bunch of Nazis come up, find where Hippolyta crash land, and Diana's there, and she's protecting her, and she just tears ass through all of them. Like, these guys are supposed to be fucking enhanced super soldiers and shit. You wouldn't notice that, by the way, Wonder Woman is just tossing them around like fucking rag dolls. But it makes sense. Her mom is dying, and these are the assholes that did it. Like, of course she's gonna tear their asses apart. Like, she is this close to killing some of them, but then she figures, nah, I can't do that. She lets them down, drags their asses to the beach, gets them on their transports, and sends them on the way. She says that she's gonna give coordinates to the proper authorities to have them picked up and arrested. The blonde female Nazi, the one that wanted to preserve the libraries, she actually said, I actually kind of like that she's one of the few constant Nazis that you actually see in this whole invasion thing. She doesn't exactly have a character arc because she's just kind of a background character, but you see her the most, and she kind of has the most character of all the Nazis. She actually says that, the society told us where to find this place, so we can find it again. And she's like, I wouldn't. We have giant fucking sharks patrolling our island, and they have your scent now. I mean, you can try. I wouldn't recommend it. Then Alcyone's crazy ass shows up, shoots her with 2 arrows, and basically calls her out. Has her come to this site. It's kind of like a funeral pyre for Amazons, I guess. It has 3 of the Circle members stay behind to try and, slow her down. And they actually do. Like, they kick Diana's ass fairly soundly. But then she gets up, she gets a little bit better. She realizes she can't just charge in. She acts like they're using older tactics once she hasn't really been taught. But she figures, fuck it, I gotta use what works. So she uses their own tactics against her. She realizes that their weapons are enchanted by gods or something. And she realizes that the chick with the arrows is going to be the biggest problem. So she uses a lasso to tie one up, knocks down another one, steals her she has a trident, because why not? Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. In the little prologue, the last one here, it actually says what each member of the Circle was before becoming Hippolyta's personal guard. And one was a fishmonger. One was she was into animal husbandry, so she took care of animals a lot. Alcyone herself was she took care of the armory. She was a butcher. That's it. Okay, so they had a butcher, a fishmonger, an animal care. I don't know what the actual term for this. The person who takes care of the animals and shit, and the keeper of the armory. And apparently, the reason why Hippolyta chose them to be a personal guard is because they loved her the most. Which, okay, she doesn't really elaborate on that, mostly because she is dying at the time. So, I'm still not entirely sure what that actually means, or fuck it, who cares? They all get their asses kicked and thrown in jail. She uses the fishmonger's trident, destroys the bow, and kicks the rest of their asses. Then she goes to Alcyone, kicks her ass, and right before, and she's even saying that Wonder Woman should kill her, but of course she won't. And right at the moment where Diana said that she forgives her, Alcyone actually whispers to herself, "You should have been mine." And it's no, she was just this whole thing. She was just fucking jealous of Hippolyta. It's it's kind of like the whole idea that Diana's birth would destroy the Amazons, more of a self-fulfilling prophecy than anything else. Because all the other Amazons, again, were totally cool with her. And all helped raise her. Hippolyta even says that, it's bitch, everyone was okay with this except you. This was your thing. Diana didn't do shit. She saved our people more times than I can fucking count. Then she can't really accept it, and she throws herself off the fucking. She jumps into the ocean and disappears. And she isn't dead, obviously, but if she just disappears for a while, I don't know where the fuck she went. But like I said, the rest of the circle gets captured. They get locked up again, and to help Hippolyta recover, a couple of the gorilla knights that came with Diana actually stay behind and help keep her company. Then she goes back to her apartment, and all of her friends are there, like all the superheroes that she knows are there, and they're just having a big birthday party for her, and it's nice. And then Eda shows up. Yeah. Oh wait, before that, Hippolyta actually notices that she's wearing something from another god, and she asks why she's doing that, and then Diana asks why the fuck are we still worshiping these dickhole Olympians who fucking abandoned us and treat us like shit all the goddamn time? And Hippolyta just says, well, they gave me you. So it's like, oh my god, that's so nice. Mother dollar shit. I should have done this on Mother's Day. I'm recording this on Sunday. It is officially a fucking week since Mother's Day. This would have been fucking perfect to do on Mother's Day, but whatever. So Eda shows up, and I was actually right. She does know that Diana, Prince, and Wonder Woman are the same character, are the same person, and she's actually. She told him, I actually predicted it right. She's just kind of fucking with Sarge Steel. It's like she's saying that she's a mole and she's gonna check out Diana. But she's actually like her in-office alibi for whenever she needs to be Wonder Woman, and she can't let anyone else know. She'll be, like a smokescreen, just let her just so she can do her thing. And I really like that. I like that Gail Simone reintegrated Eda in the way she did. I think that was a great choice, especially since he kind of had the opportunity for it. I honestly never really liked the idea of her having a secret identity. Well, I guess her having a secret identity isn't so much an issue. It's what the secret identity is. Like, I don't really have a problem with Wonder Woman working with a governmental agency. She's doing that now in the comics now, and it works fine. It's actually really similar to this setup, but it's slightly different. First of all, Diana Prince isn't a thing. Wonder Woman is just working for this group, and I think it's weird that they went for. I still think it's weird that they went this direction for. We need to give Wonder Woman a secret identity. Let's make her a fucking spy. Whatever. So Eda and Wonder Woman talk. It's a nice little talk. They talk about how Wonder Woman is starting to question her own creation. Like, why did the gods give her to Hippolyta and stuff like that? And that's obviously gonna feed into the next couple of the next couple of storylines and stuff like that. And this was a good opening run. Like as far as first storylines go for a new writer, this was really damn good. And you can really see why people consider Gail Simone's run in this book one of the best, and it's so great, and I really do like it. Honestly, not much else to say. Like I said, I actually did skip ahead a little bit and read some of the storylines that came after this. Alcyone does come back because, like I said, she didn't die. She just ran the fuck away. She was going to be a pain in the ass later on, in a really good way, like how she's used is really well done and everything like that. And I really like how much is potentially set up in these 4 issues. Like this is a really well done opening storyline. So I might not do anything else with this particular run for Wonder Woman. I might do some other runs. If you have anything that you wanted me to look at, just send me a comment. I'll see what I can do. So, yeah, by No Mercy, the Mad Hatter. I'll see you all later.